Live from Brooklyn, New York, this is Stay Busy with Armon Sadler.
Well, you know that I'm the guy. I'm out here living life. I'm busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Making moves and catching flights. So please don't waste my time. I'm busy. Stay busy. Stay busy. Stay busy, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Stay Busy with Armon Sadler, where we have responsible discussions on the entertainment business and the entertainment culture. I'm your host, head honcho, vegan chorizo poppy, founder of B&B, the bald bombshell, all of those monikers, but you can just call me Armon Sadler. Very happy to be here with y'all once again. Came in on a Friday for a very special reason, which we will get into. But thank you all for tuning back in. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube for all visual episodes. Subscribe on your favorite audio streaming platform. Leave a like, a comment, share with a friend. Do all those rating things that you can do because they mean so much to what we're doing. And if you would like some bonus content, early access to episodes, messages from me, all that, these perks and benefits and stuff when the time comes for them, subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.com/staybusypod. I'm very thrilled to be here. Timing is crazy. So literally found out about this artist this week, and I'm always looking for new music, always looking for stuff that's good. And I've been blown away listening to this person, Aussie-born, LA bred, new self-titled project out today. Just fantastic songwriting, fantastic vocals. It's her first time on a podcast, so I'm honored to have her here. None other than the lovely SHRETA. SHRETA, welcome. Woo!
Yay, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm so excited to be here.
Good.
Yeah, first podcast.
Yeah, not special.
Yeah, an official release date of
Yeah.
the project, which is crazy.
That's got to be, I'm sure it's been a busy day for you too.
Busy, yeah, but exciting.
Good.
Yeah, so excited.
Good. Before we start, let's cheers to the room.
Hell yeah.
Vino for everyone. It's Friday.
Everyone.
Shout out to y'all.
Should we?
Yeah. Clink, clink.
Yeah.
Boom. Had to reach. There we go. Cheers. Yeah, we got a full house in here.
Yes.
Shout out to Belle, meeting Belle for the first time. Happy about that. We've been in social media friends for I don't know when we followed each other, but we've been cool for a long time. So good to finally meet you. So let's jump right into it. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not like a sports fan, right?
Well, I wouldn't say a sports fan. I feel like I'm sports aware.
Sports aware. Okay.
Maybe aware is a stretch,
Okay.
but yeah.
But you felt the energy in New York with the Knicks being in the playoffs and all
Yes,
that. Yeah.
it was so crazy actually. We went to go see the game and we were literally sitting there as my project was getting released and
Wow.
the energy was crazy and everyone was so excited. It was so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
That's great vibes. Okay. Well, I won't bore you with super analytical. Oh my God, this guy's 3-point percentage, this guy's field goal percentage, all that.
Yeah.
But you felt the energy. That's
No,
more
I
than
felt
enough.
the energy and the energy in New York in general is so high. So
Yeah.
it's really cool.
It's
Yeah.
when people say it's the greatest city in the world, I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. It's
I take
very
it for
cool.
granted sometimes because I come here 4 days a week for work and
Yeah.
I live in Jersey, so the commute can be annoying. Like today, traffic is evil, but
Yeah, right.
there are some nights where you're just out, it's 2 a.m. You're eating a fucking chopped cheese sandwich, drunk as hell, meet some random person. You're just yo, New York is fucking great.
No, it's insane.
This your
Yeah.
first time out here?
No. So
okay.
yeah, funnily enough, the last time I came out here was 3 years ago. And that's when I started this project. So it's very full circle, very cool to
Okay.
be here right now when it's out.
Okay.
So it's amazing.
Cool. Well,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into that process,
Yes.
but some new music, new entertainment news, all that
Mhm.
good stuff. Blah blah blah. Are you a fan of Giveon?
Yeah, I love Giveon.
Awesome.
Yeah,
he
amazing voice.
he announced his new project. Beloved is coming out in July.
Okay.
I actually had a chance to meet him this week. He came by the office, played the album. Sounded pretty
Crazy.
good.
Oh,
Sounding pretty good.
that's
So,
exciting.
yeah. He was. I won't give too much away, but he was talking about his mindset going into it and just
Yeah.
feeling the fact that he took so many years off, he had to deliver.
Mhm.
And from what I heard, I don't want to hype it up too much for y'all, and then y'all don't like it and you blame me. But from what I heard, I really liked it.
Yeah.
His singles so far have been good, 20s
Yeah,
and
great.
Rather Be. So
That's cool. I feel like it's quality over quantity anyway.
yeah.
You have to take your time.
I
Yeah,
feel like
you know it's gonna be good.
people put the kind of rapper release rate on R&B artists sometimes.
Yes, it's so different.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely different.
Yeah, like think back, like Usher dropped 8701, I want to say like 2001,
Mhm.
and then Confessions was 2004.
Yeah.
But he made such great songs that he was able to kind of take that time and then do features in between, and like it's stuff that stuck. So
Yeah.
if you make good music that sticks, you
Exactly.
can take a break. So
Yeah.
so shout out to Giveon. Can't wait for y'all to hear the album and we can talk more about it. Leon Thomas's MUTT Deluxe Heal is out now. How'd you feel about MUTT Deluxe?
I like it. And also it's so crazy. Like the other week in LA, we got to go and listen to some of his music. He did like an exclusive event and played the album.
Mhm.
And it's so amazing. Like I love seeing bigger artists do like really exclusive events where they let fans and let people in on their process. So it was so
Yeah.
cool to like hear the album, but also hear him talk about it and what went into it. And I feel like it makes me appreciate it more.
Mhm.
Because like being an artist, I feel like you're just always curious about the process.
Yeah.
So I loved that. And so yeah, seeing the project come out now, it like hits different when you've heard it,
Mhm.
some of it before. So I think it's so cool that he did that, and I'd
Yeah.
love to do something like that.
I enjoy that too. I'm not
Yeah.
the guy for the big listening parties anymore,
Yeah.
like being cramped up and sweaty. As you see, I'm already a sweaty dude myself, sitting still. So being around mad people, it's even worse. Getting your sneakers stepped on, having to wait 2 hours at an open bar for
Yes.
a drink that's not even sufficient.
It's not a drink. Yeah, it's
So-
80% water. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
give me a nice intimate setting. Maybe some finger foods.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. This is crazy. Like people have really taken to Leon over the
Mhm.
years, like with his first album, and the title is escaping me right now. I'm really annoyed about that. I can literally just look it up. I'm on Spotify
Is it
right
Genesis?
now. Maybe
That was the first like EP or album of his that I listened to that I was like, whoa, this is so cool.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is gonna bother me. Electric Dusk was Genesis was 2018. And
Yeah.
then Electric Dusk was 2023.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's really like people are talking about him in like star potential superstar type
Mhm.
level. So it's cool to see the reception. Like I
Right.
think we're always interested in who's up next, and he's been around for a while. Like if you know Leon's story, from Nickelodeon days to writing for people, production on
Yeah.
for Drake, working with SZA, and now he's really like stepping out onto his own, and he's making great fucking music. So
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah. It's amazing. I mean, that's the thing. I feel like when you wear so many hats in the industry, I feel like you have more input and therefore you have like more to give when it comes to your own music too.
Mhm.
And you kind of watch and you observe and you like get to perceive like how other people go about things and if you want to do it that way or not. And
Yeah.
like I think that's why like taking your time, even with what you were saying about Giveon, I think it's so important to take your time because good music is undeniable.
Mhm.
So I feel like it does the work for you. It speaks for itself when you
Yeah.
take your time on your music.
Yeah, and there's so much
Yeah.
pressure from fans and the industry and all that to keep up, but
Yeah.
you don't have to keep up if you're setting your own pace.
Yes.
And I think that's what stars do, is they set their own pace for themselves and condition their fans to be like, hey, you might not get a project every 3 years, but when you get it,
Yeah.
you're gonna love it. It's gonna sit with you.
Yes.
I could tour, and then I could go away for a little bit, come back with something fresh. So
Exactly. You need to have something to say.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you're just singing.
That's so important. Is living life, having something inspiring you to make
Yeah.
the music. You can always tell when it comes from an inspired place rather than just I'm making this because I
Yeah.
have label obligations or
Yeah.
variety of things. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah, so shout out to Leon. Great songs on there. I really liked Prize. I really liked Dirt on My Shoes with Kehlani. That
Yeah, I was gonna say that
fire.
one's fire.
Yeah.
That one's crazy.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff on there. So shout out to Giveon. Let's jump into some music business charting certification type stuff. So this past week there was a very big commotion made about the fact that Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us dropped off of the Billboard Hot 100 chart when it was just number 23.
Mhm.
Last week it was on the chart for 53 consecutive weeks,
Yeah,
which is
that's
record
insane.
breaking.
Yeah.
And given the nature of everything that happened last year, people were like, ooh, yeah, like the song doesn't matter anymore. It dropped off the chart. And, there's actually this rule
hmm
on Billboard charting. It's called the recurrent rule, where if a song has been on the chart for over a year, and if it doesn't hit if it's not within the top 25, then they immediately remove it from the chart to make room for other songs.
Right.
So that's something I just learned this week myself, which I thought was very interesting. Like,
yeah.
it's a cool rule. And it's like not a lot of songs hit 52 consecutive weeks on the charts, and we just haven't really seen this happen. I
Yeah.
think the last time it was Bruno Mars, Mark Ronson, Uptown Funk, which was
Wow.
super dominant. If you remember that time, that song
Yes.
was
Yeah, everywhere.
inescapable. So
Yeah.
yeah, this doesn't happen, too often. So I learned something this week. And
Yeah.
hopefully you listeners, you all learn that too, whether you, regardless of what side you stand on, even if the song maybe isn't at its peak like it once was, like this is something that Billboard instituted. And I mean, I don't really feel any way about it, but it was just a really interesting thing to learn.
Yeah. It's so interesting how like people immediately think like once it's off, like, oh, this song doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
And like it didn't just spend 52 weeks there.
yeah,
And yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So there's that. And then on the Drake side of things, this week he broke the record for the most RIAA certified diamond singles. Hold On, We're Going Home featuring Majid Jordan and Best I Ever Had went diamond this week. So he has 10 diamond songs.
Wow.
Beat out Garth Brooks, who has 9 diamond albums. Post Malone, who has 9 diamond songs, which is crazy because Post has been around for a decade, actually, which is crazy to think about. I remember I went to a concert where like all he had was like White Iverson at the time, and it was fire, but it was like to see his growth over the last decade is insane. But,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah. So Drake is just continuing to do numbers and break records. So
Yeah. And
maybe
he was just in Australia too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get to?
I didn't get to go see him,
Damn.
but yeah, he was in Australia and he was doing like quite a few shows.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, it looked like a
yeah,
blast.
Australians love Drake.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do.
It seemed like there was a lot of love over there. He hadn't been in like I think like 10 years. He
Yeah, I
said,
think
too,
that's
so
why too.
yeah, it was a great time to go. And I know apparently he's announcing like a Europe tour soon too. So that Wireless Fest coming up, like he's got a lot going on. But this whole diamond thing, actually, Chart Data posted a list of like all of the artists and how many diamond songs they had, and I was like really surprised by some names. Like
Yeah.
Kanye West only has 2 diamond certified songs.
Wow.
Beyonce only has 2 diamond certified songs.
Wow,
Um,
that's unexpected.
Ed Sheeran only has 3. Eminem only has 3. And with some of these names like Eminem, Kanye, Beyonce, obviously they debuted pre-streaming. Their heyday was pre-streaming. So
Yeah.
streaming's changed things. A lot of people kind of don't like that it's easier to go diamond these days. But I was like, damn, they have so much catalog and they still stream pretty well. I figured like records would eventually go diamond for them, but maybe they haven't like updated their certifications yet. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was a really interesting thing to look at. Like you've got Katy Perry has 6 diamond songs, Bruno Mars has 6, Justin Bieber has 5. Like very interesting.
Yeah, and it's interesting how like you look at artists that have so much impact on music culture and like
Mhm.
literally the way that music is consumed, like, and the possibilities that there are for artists like someone like Kanye or Beyonce,
Yeah.
especially. So it's like, wow, like charting really doesn't determine your impact.
Mhm.
Like that's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's a very prevalent conversation. I feel like especially in the rap community, people get very like some people stand on the number side, some people stand on the cultural impact influence side, and they try to say like one side matters more than the other, and it's really difficult to quantify influence or impact. Like,
Yeah.
there are the artists who will say, oh, this person influenced me, and so you can kind of be like, all right, Beyonce influenced that one, but then you look at
Mhm.
like Beyonce's numbers and that's just a completely different thing, which also speaks to her impact as well. So
Yeah.
music it's just so fascinating in that way,
Right.
and like we
Yeah.
spend so much time debating this subjective art
Mhm.
there's no conclusion to it, there's no finality to it. Like
Yeah.
you feel how you feel, I feel how I feel.
Exactly.
Who's right, who's wrong there? Like
Yeah.
no one. But so that's what the community does, they debate.
Yeah, that's very true.
Are you a music debater? Do you and your friends go
Um,
at it?
A music debater, I think I have like lots of opinions when it comes to like artistry and what it
Mhm.
means to be an artist. And, I think like a lot of like industry sort of stuff and like
Mhm.
my experience on that. Am I going to go to war for another artist? Probably not. I feel like I just wouldn't listen, or I would if I like it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just industry in general, I feel like that's a topic that I like to talk about.
Mm.
Yeah.
How do you feel about, I guess, the current landscape of the music industry? And
hmm
like it seems like labels are kind of de-emphasizing hip hop and R&B to a degree,
hmm
just based if you look at the charts, like there aren't like albums aren't charting as high, debuting number one, and
Yeah.
songs aren't as well. Like pop and country are kind of having this crazy resurgence. You got the Morgan Whalens, you got the Sabrina Carpenters, you got the Billie Eilishes, Chappell Roans. You can go on and on with all these not new, but just like bursting the bubble type stars. And rap is kind of feels like we're lacking. And then R&B maybe doesn't chart as high or stream as high. There are a lot of super talented R&B acts, but they're not necessarily getting the same push. Like, so how do you feel about that? Like observing that?
I would say, I mean, I speak from the R&B perspective, I guess. I feel like, obviously, you know, talk about it all the time, how oversaturated the music industry is now because it's so easy to create a lot quickly. And we all have access to be able to be creators and influencers and create at like this mass rate that I feel like when anything is created at that mass rate, it loses its value inherently. And I think that what it ends up doing is like it allows for artists to create their own little world where they can invite people into that. But I think in being that superstar or like super impactful artist, I think it is a lot harder because there's a lot more noise that you have to rise above to be received on that level.
Right.
But I think that if you're an artist that just wants to have a career, I think that it's pretty accessible to you. If you want to have a lucrative career, I think it's a lot harder.
Yeah. It's tough. I said that a couple years ago. Like I think it's easy to, not necessarily easy, but like easier to kind of create motion for yourself and gain visibility through social media, TikTok. There's so many more avenues. Like back in the day, people had to sit outside a record label with their demo tape and hope that they ran into an executive. But in terms of like breaking through, becoming a real star, like you kind of need that backing, that support. And some labels kind of jump on like the TikTok artists, like who have like one hot song on TikTok. They may not be developing artists as much these days. So it's a very, very different landscape. Like it's made me be a lot more patient when I see someone who maybe has like a viral song. I'm like, all right, let's see what they do next before I call them a star, before I, you know, jump on the bandwagon, because then I might end up disappointed. Because we've seen a lot of people get super hot and then kind of just like disappear for a variety of reasons. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say it's like it really just depends on your perspective and like I guess like how the industry has served you in a way. I think like that's the only way as artists like we can talk about if it's been helpful or not. I would say like from my perspective, like being an Indian Australian artist who's making R&B, who's now moved to America, I don't think that would have been possible in the 2000s if I was waiting on an executive to understand my brand.
Right.
I think that now I benefit from the current state of the music business today because I get to build my personal brand and like run my business, but I'm someone that values that. And, you know, I don't do it alone, of course. And I think that nowadays you also have that ability to sort of like choose and have like a little more autonomy over like the people you let into your team. And I think back then if I was, you know, I say back then, but even now, if I was like just sort of signed and thrown in with some random people and it was like, cool, we're going to break you this way, it can be difficult and there's pros and cons to both. But then there are artists who are like better suited to that and kind of just like have other people run like all hands on deck. And then I feel like for artists that really want to build their own brand and build their business and, you know, are visually involved and creatively involved, I think now is such a great time for us. So being Australian and having social media allow me into these American and international spaces, I would say that I benefit from the landscape of music today.
For sure.
But, you know, it is still a lot of people and a lot of people trying to be heard. And it can be a lot too. It can be a lot in other ways, but yeah.
I've appreciated, some people don't like this, but like social media and just the accessibility of the world, it's kind of made the ability to be aware of global artists like obviously a lot easier. And I love that. Like it's eliminated the whole regionalism thing. Like, you know, back in the day, it was like artists, you know, if you weren't popping in New York, then you weren't a certain level of popping yet. And then like, you know, the South popped off obviously with their run. But now it's like I'm listening to so many UK artists right now. Like there's the Central C, who's also, kind of broken through over here. And there's an artist Nippa who I really like
Yeah, it's
over,
cool.
and he's super dope. And just there's plenty like Dave and Skepta and all of them.
Mhm.
And they've been able to break through over here and establish fan bases
Yeah.
here. So I think that's cool. It definitely opens a lot of doors. So
Yeah, it definitely does. In a way, though, I feel like that still hasn't changed in terms of like you have to have the support of where you're from and you
Mm.
have to be authentic. And, I can't come over here and start saying I'm American. I mean, I wouldn't anyway, but like I feel like, you still need to build on that like grassroots like level. I don't think that
For
ever
sure.
changes whether there's social media or not.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes like yeah, that can be the true barrier now because like a lot of people don't want to go to a show if they can just watch it
Mm.
online or they can just see it on social media. But I think like that's always going to be very valuable to an artist because you can have millions of streams and not be able to sell tickets. And at the
Mhm.
end of the day, it doesn't really
Yeah.
matter, you know?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you spitting.
So, yeah.
Bell told me that you're a 2000s baby.
I am
So
2001.
I'm very impressed by your insight. You've got a very mature
Oh, really? Thank you.
approach and mindset towards this. Like,
Yeah, thank you.
did you have any mentors or people who have kind of given you the game, or is this all like just stuff you've kind of learned on your own and observed?
I wouldn't say that I've had anyone specifically step in and be a mentor
Hmm.
for me. And, I'm the first one in my family to like be in the music industry. So I think it was a lot of trial and error and a lot of falling on my face at the beginning and like making mistakes and learning myself. But I think that you learn a lot when you just observe
Hmm.
and that, it's not just important to know what you like. It's just as important to know what you don't like.
Hmm.
I think a lot of people are afraid to say, I didn't like what this artist did, or I didn't fuck with that.
Hmm. No, but please.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think for me, it's just about curating like your taste and understanding what you like, understanding what connects with you as a consumer, and then how you can make your own version of that. But yeah, I'm very lucky to have an amazing team
Mhm.
who are here right now. But I don't have any specific mentors, but I would love to. I think it's so important in the music industry to have people that kind of pass the wisdom on.
Yeah.
But I think I'm just a student of life.
Mhm.
So I think I've just absorbed a lot from my own life.
Who's
Yeah.
like one artist or like producer that you would love to just like lock in with for like a week in the
Damn.
studio and not just make music, but talk and learn and, exchange information with?
Wow. That's a big question. I feel like producer-wise, like, I really like what Pharrell's doing in the fashion space. I
Mm,
think that's something that I'm super interested in. I feel like I would love to talk to him, and I think he's been around for a long time
very long.
and is still very relevant in different spaces, so I think that's really cool. Um, Artist-wise, I mean, music-wise, I would love to, like, listen in on Brandy, like, vocal
Mm,
producing. I feel like that's just me being, like, nerdy. I would love to see how that happens, but when it comes to life, who's one of those deep artists? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't really know if there's anyone I'd really like sit in on right now and be like, damn, what do you think about life? But I feel like there's a few people that like music wise, I'd be like, wow, I'd love to see how this goes down. Like, this is cool.
nah, Brandy, that's
Yeah.
that's the vocal Bible.
Right. Exactly.
You've
Yeah.
you've done your homework and gone back. Love that. Love
Yeah.
that. So speaking of going back, let's take it back to 2001 in Melbourne, Australia.
2001. Yeah.
What was it like growing up there? I feel like there's some, I mean, obviously on the internet and different TV shows and stuff, you hear about Australia, crikey, and
Oh my gosh.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff people say,
Yeah.
which we'll get to. I have a couple of things I'm going to need you to debunk or address. But growing up in Australia, what was your young SHRETA doing?
Okay. Well, I grew up in Melbourne, Australia, which is a city. So
Mhm.
I lived in the city, maybe like 15 minutes out the city. It's very cold there.
Mm.
Great food, great coffee, very concrete, very gritty. I feel like that's what I grew up in. I'm Indian. My background is Indian. So I grew up with that cultural influence. Like I started singing Indian music and that was my introduction to music in general. So young SHRETA was probably being forced to go to like an Indian singing class and being like, bro,
You wasn't with it.
yeah. But yeah, that was kind of like the backdrop of like what I like where I come from. But yeah, Melbourne is really like a melting pot of cultures. You have a lot of different people. The fashion scene is so cool. The music there is really interesting as well. A lot of cool DJs, a lot of cool venues. Like the nightlife is kind of something that you would want to go to Melbourne for. And so, yeah, I love where I'm from. I'm very proud to be from there. But probably how I'd explain it, not much like crocodiles and kangaroos jumping around, but maybe some other part of Australia. But Melbourne you'll be fine if you go there. Yeah, you'll be right.
You just ruined one of my questions. I was going to ask about kangaroos. It's all good. It's all good. I got plenty more. Was it always music for you, or did you have like a dream job, like, you know, being a doctor or a lawyer or something like that? Or has it always been music?
You know what's so funny? I'm literally like a year away from having a law degree.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I've always wanted to do music my entire life. So to answer your question, nothing else. Literally nothing else. Like since I was like 2 or 3. Like I think I started singing, like doing lessons and doing all the Indian music stuff when I was maybe like 3.
Wow.
So I was probably on stage for the first time when I was 5.
Okay.
So there's been nothing else that I want to do with my life. But when I graduated high school, there was COVID, and I think I was always really interested in higher education. Like I didn't just want to leave high school and be like, okay, you know, I'm just going to go jump into the music business. I think I was interested in seeing like where I could take this other side of my brain that really wants to understand like the rest of the world and the music industry. And so, yeah, the first couple of years of lockdown, I was just like locked in and, you know, got started on my degree. Now I have like a year left. So yeah, I will randomly have a law degree, which is very beneficial to music, but I've never ever wanted to be a lawyer, like an actual lawyer. That's a whole different hustle. And I want to be 100% in music. Yeah.
What's been that process like, balancing law school and then also being an artist and the random fits of inspiration you can get and time management and also giving yourself breaks and grace too?
Yeah. I think that, I mean, stereotypically, I attribute this to just being Indian, but this may actually just be a personality thing. But I just feel like work ethic and discipline and just that's just what I was raised on. It's just what I know. So I think that as much as music is creative and fun and play and being in a flow state, it's so much like dedication and discipline that I also put into it. And I think that, you know, like if I give myself like 2 to 3 hours to do something, that's the amount of time that I'll have to do it. And then next task. Like I think that being that way has helped me get this far. And yeah. But I would definitely say that I dedicate more time to music than anything else. Like, yeah. I'm not in every single class, but you know.
I get it.
I'm here right now.
There we go. You ain't get kicked out. You're a year away from that degree.
I'm good.
You're doing all right.
Yeah.
You mentioned that it was your parents that got you into Indian singing and all that. So when you decided you wanted to switch over and make contemporary R&B soul, and you had that conversation with them, what was that like?
They were very confused. I think that for them and for a lot of people who are like a part of my culture, I'll probably resonate around people, that music is religion, music is culture, music is for family events, but music is not a career. And finance, law, being a doctor, that's a career. And I think that they were just very confused at first, like, oh my God, like, how's your life going to look? What's your future going to be like? Like, you're not going to have this security. And in a lot of ways, they're right. That's true. But I feel that like once I just got started, and I think they realized like, oh, we can't stop her. I don't think anything or anyone is going to stop her. I think we're just going to have to like accept it and, you know, just like kind of be along for the ride. I think that happened pretty much the first time I came to America, because I was like, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm just going to see what I can do. And so, yeah, at first, I think they were like confused, and especially because it's a very different genre for them.
Right.
I think they didn't really understand what it was. And yeah, but now I think they understand that this is like my life. Yeah.
Do you remember what year that was? How old you were?
I think I was like 11
okay.
when I was like, I'm not doing this type of music anymore. I'm going to do this. So I was very much a kid. They were like, shut up.
Sounds like the,
but I was like, no, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. Right around the time when we start being rebellious.
Yeah, 11, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when did you first come to America?
2022. So I would have been 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd been kind of building and establishing your foundation musically
Yeah.
while in Australia.
Yeah, definitely. So came here for the first time, met Michaeli, who's here right now, the producer of this project that we're going to get into later.
Mhm.
So yeah, we met, we were in sessions together, and I think that sort of helped me build the foundation, like just understanding the workflow, having someone to work with. Like I think it made me understand just like, wow, things are really different here. Because I think in America, like music is a serious career, like a serious career. Like
Mhm.
people really make money and dedicate a lot of time to it. And in Australia, it definitely is. But I don't think that if you're in that medium up and coming level, you get access to that.
Right.
So I think I was like, whoa, this workflow is so different. And I think I brought all of that back home with me and kind of worked my way up to getting the visa.
Mhm.
But yeah, was building relationships and networking out here, doing some sessions and stuff. But I think this time around we've been really working.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And do you live like full time out here now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In LA. Yeah.
And that was where you first went. Like you went from Australia to LA.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's either New York or LA. Those are like the
Yeah,
dream cities for people.
exactly. And I love New York. I
Mhm.
love being here. I think like it's incredible. But
Yeah.
LA was kind of just where I had the most relationships, the most
Right.
foundations. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get started here. But
Mhm.
you know, don't be surprised if you see me back here like
Mm.
in a couple years time.
You made the right choice. These winters get brutal out here.
Yeah, that's true.
Granted, LA weather is not perfect, and of course the unfortunate, fires earlier this
Yeah,
year,
right.
which I was literally there. I think I left the day that they really got bad.
Yeah.
So I was glad I was able to fly out, but I've got like people we know who were affected by it, and
Yeah,
we raise
wow.
money for them. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's always something out there. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Where specifically in LA do you stay without doxing yourself?
So just like, yeah, East Hollywood.
East Hollywood. Okay, got
Yeah,
you.
so it's nice.
Got you. Awesome. So you're out here. You link up with Michaeli.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say was like the first like moment where you felt like, yo, I'm kind of really making things happen out here?
Yeah. I think, you know what's so funny? The first couple weeks, so I think at the time I was sort of in sessions every single day. And it kind of goes back to what we were talking about like quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was in sessions every day and I couldn't break through. I wasn't making anything that I liked. I didn't make anything that felt like me. And I think when I wrote Messy for the first time in New York,
Mm-hmm.
that's when I was like, oh, I'm really onto something. And like, basically fuck everything else I just made. I want to put that out first. But I feel like, yeah, I think it takes like a song and who you become in writing that and actually bringing a vision to life and seeing that who you want to be is actually who you can be.
Right.
I think like that's a moment for any artist, but specifically for me when I'm like, oh, okay, this is actually something that can exist in real life.
Mhm.
Because 24 hours a day, you have ideas and inspiration in your head, but not
Yeah.
everything has that substance that you can pull from it and actually make it into a real life tangible thing.
Yeah.
And I think there's some songs and some things that you create that you're just like, nah, this needs to exist, not just for me, but for other people.
Yeah.
And that was probably the first time that I was like, nah, this is mine. What I'm
Mhm.
doing right now, this is me.
How do you manage that? Because I'm the type of person who I can't create anything unless I'm inspired. I can't force it.
Mhm.
And there are times where you want to be inspired, but then there are times where you are inspired, but you can't turn that inspiration into something, which is what you were
Yeah.
talking about before. And sometimes you kind of feel like me at least, I feel disappointed. I feel like I'm wasting inspiration.
Yeah.
I feel like, damn, like I'll never get that moment back, something like
Mhm.
that. And then, it comes back around at some point. But
Yeah.
like, how have you managed, not beating yourself up when, inspiration comes, but you just can't unlock it to make it something?
Yeah. I mean, there'll be times when I still do. Like, I
Mhm.
think that's an inevitable thing when you really just want to create and you really want to make something and you want to share like a certain story, but like you just can't really find the perspective yet.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's like, I always say, like, I feel like it's like just going fishing. Like you just show up.
Mm,
Sometimes you get something, sometimes you don't.
right.
And the point actually isn't what you get out of it. It's just showing up. That's the whole point of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did
So
you actually go fishing?
I absolutely don't.
Okay.
Yeah, never in my life.
This is just a simile.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yes.
It's a good one. It worked. It worked. I was like, yo.
You know, with the metaphors, you know? Yeah, but you will never see me fishing, no. Yeah. But yeah, I think like that's kind of how I try to approach it now. But yeah, oh my gosh, I've had so many times where I'm like, oh my God, I want to make a song and this sucks. I'm going to quit. But like, no. You just like, you know, you just have to understand like creativity is not something that can be manufactured. And when it starts to feel manufactured, it loses the spirituality in it. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
So it's like you just show up. Sometimes you get something, sometimes you don't. But if you do it with good people that you love and people you have fun with, you always have fun whether you get something or not. Yeah.
The most important part is just showing up.
Yeah.
Not giving up, not
Doing the
stepping
reps,
away.
yeah.
Gotta get your reps in. Gotta get
That's
your
all
reps
it
in.
is.
So Messi has consumed my week.
Yay.
I hear that melody in my head. I played the live version. I played the acoustic version.
Okay.
I got them all saved.
Wow, thank you.
It has like radio, kind of a radio vibe to it. It's got a bop to it though. Like I love, like R&B is great.
Yes.
But I always try to encourage artists and remind them like the R&B that I grew up on. People made upbeat stuff that you can not just listen to when you're in your sad boy, sad girl bag at home, like outside, party to, dance to, hit a little two-step, all that. Like Messi's got that, it's got that bop to it. So please give me the backstory of my current favorite song.
Okay, wow, the backstory. I feel like I should just start the day that it was made.
Let's do it.
So woke up, was 3 hours late to the studio so unintentionally. I was still jet lagged from LA to New York. So got in the car, literally had 4 hours probably of studio time left. So rushed to the studio, like literally decided to drive into New York, which, you know, is like wild. Like if you decide to do that, you're really late, I feel like. Yeah. So we were very late. So we drove, pulled up to the studio, and I think I had written that line that, if you start like it, you know, on some like stupid shit. Like I literally just wrote that. I was like, lol. And then because we literally had 4 hours left, like I pulled my phone out. I was like, shit, this is just something to start. Let's just work with it. And then we started making the beat. I got in the booth. We didn't have like any time. Like we were like writing and making the beat at the same time, recording and building the beat at the same time. But it just felt so good. It just felt so good. Like to make it just felt like something I was like, whoa, what have I stumbled on? Like, this doesn't sound like anything else that I've made. And it doesn't really sound like something that I've heard recently. So I'm like, this is cool. And then, yeah, literally just made the draft, left, didn't think twice about it, went and got a tattoo, got ice cream off the street food, walked home, and then bumped it at the house. I was like, wait, what the fuck did we just do? But like I literally left and got tatted. I was like, I wasn't even thinking deeply about it. And I think it really just hit me when I came back to Australia. I was like listening to like all the things I had made, and I was thinking, okay, like I'm back here now. What am I going to do next? How am I going to get myself back to the States? And then I just knew like, nah, that one needs to come out. Like that's the one. Yeah.
So you dropped that. That was what, September 2023?
Yeah.
And what was like the initial reception?
Oh, I think people loved it. I think people were surprised too. Because I think visually as well, I went a very different direction than I had before. When I first got started in music, I feel like my brand was sort of being, you know, it was developing, but I don't really think I really was at the core of building it. And I think, you know, I just wanted to be like other R&B artists out there, or that was being told to me, like, that's what you need to be. And I think like Messi was the first time that I was like, nah, like, I'm going to pull up to a suit. I'm going to pull up to the shoot in a suit. I was like, I'm just going to like wear what I want to wear and like embody the energy of this song and like have fun being in Melbourne. I'm just like visually going in a different direction. I think that really kickstarted like the whole project, and like where I am today was just having faith and confidence in like wear what you like and say what you want to say, and like the right people will enjoy that, and you don't have to be something that you're not to find success in this space.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And you said your debut EP, SHRETA, was in the works for 3 years, right?
Wow, I guess so. Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But yeah,
So
3 years.
the success of Messy, which came out 2023, September 2023, what did you feel any pressure to be like, yo, this song is like going up, I gotta drop something now? Or like what was your mindset post Messy?
I feel like because I was still in that developing stage of like my brand, my artistry, everything. Even if I wanted to drop something like the next week and keep that going, I don't think I could have because I didn't have it yet.
Right.
I think it started this next stage of creation for me.
Hmm.
So I think what I did do is I took that energy and that momentum. I was in the studio and I kind of was writing a lot
Hmm.
during that time. And it's funny, the project is sort of in chronological order, but not really, because that's quite literally the order of all the stories and all the emotions. And so Love and Lust I did next. And, when it was done, I was like, all right, put it out. So I didn't hold anything for too long, but I didn't necessarily have too much strategy by myself after Messy, but Messy did get me connected with Belle and like all these other people. And I think once Messy opened the doors for me to bring other people into my world, I think that's when I was like, okay, cool, we're doing this together. And I have more of a kind of a framework to follow now and like, more ideas and collaborative effort. And I think that built a lot of the strategy for the project. But me by myself, I was like, this is my favorite song, I'm gonna put it out. This is all I have, damn. And then I was just letting it happen. But yeah, yeah, I would say like, I didn't feel pressure, no. I didn't think I think that's the most fun of it, yeah. It was fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love and
Yeah.
Lust is my second favorite song.
Okay,
Crazy
cool.
that they're in order.
Yeah.
But I also love Control, and it kind of
Okay.
speaks to what I was saying before, like the upbeat. That's got like house kind of
Yes.
influence to it.
Yeah.
What's the story behind that? Was that like an intentional? I want to make something that could like go over in different crowds and demographics. Like, what
Yes.
was? You could give me the story.
Yeah. I feel like Melbourne has a very, very cool house scene. And I would say Australia in general, house music is like what you'd hear on like top 40 radio. Like it's not actually alternative. It's literally just like the genre of like radio and it's like, yeah, it's so fun in that way. And Melbourne has a very, very cool house scene. And a lot of my friends are DJs, and all the parties that I would go to have these incredible DJs and these incredibly raw, dirty, fun, melodic sounds.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really fun time in R&B when people just like don't care about everything being so perfect and
Yeah.
smooth and, well structured. I was like, bro, like it's fun to dance to. And I was like, I don't think I can put a project out that is about where I'm from and I miss that key component
Yeah.
of where I'm from, which is that Australians listen to house. We love house. That's like a big part of our culture. So I intentionally went in and I spoke to McKaylee and I was like, I need to make something like this. And it was the last one we added to the project. I literally made it. Next week it was mixed and I was like, I don't know if this is good or like, I just like it. It's fun. When I was recording it, I literally had a handheld mic. I was just like dancing the whole time in my house. So I was like, if it makes me feel like that, then I think it's important for it to be out there.
Yeah.
But now in the context of the project, I'm like, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a reprieve from just like the atmospheric, like R&B. Like I think
Yeah.
you need something to like wake you up a little bit.
It
and be
caught
like,
me off
"Whoa."
guard for sure. I was like, oh shit, she got this too? All right.
Yeah.
The bag is deep.
The bag is very, very, very deep. They don't know this yet. But yeah, facts.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, that's those Messy, Love and Lust is great. Also, I mean, it's a 6-song project. There's no misses to me.
Oh, thank you.
I'm being completely transparent too.
Thank
like
you.
I hear a lot of music, in the job I do. We got different
Yeah.
artists coming in all the time. Obviously, people DMing me, sending me music, and I hear a lot of good stuff. But like, this is great. This is really,
Thank you.
really, really good shit. Why
Thank you.
was now the right time to put this out? And it being your debut EP, I guess it's probably a simple answer. I'm gonna let you answer anyways.
Mhm.
Like going with your name. Like, why'd you title it that?
So I feel like now is the right time because I had basically a whole year and a half that I was waiting for my visa to get accepted.
Mm.
And I didn't want to sit on my hands. And I think it's so easy to just be like, oh, when I get to America, when I meet so-and-so, I'll do this and I'll do that. And I was like, I have everything I need to finish this project now. I have all the right people in my corner. I have, the resources. Like 3 of 6 I recorded myself. I was like, you know, I can do this. I have the skill set. Like, I just want to get this out there and finished. And yeah, I like coming here with something to say with a bang, you know. Like, I just came to this country and I'm like, here you go, have a project. Like, you know, I don't want to waste my time. And I don't feel, not necessarily that I feel rushed, but, you know, I just think like my time is important. I have so much further to go. This is the tip of the iceberg. I'm not going to waste time holding on to the tip of the iceberg. Like, oh my God, should I put it out now or not? Like, nah, it's good music, have it. But with my name, I feel like this project is an introduction. I think that there's no better way to introduce myself than with my name. My name is unique in and of itself. I want to put a project out with an Indian name being the name of the project. I want that to be on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever, all the platforms. And I think that it's representation. It's important. And also now that I've moved to America, I'm never really going to have a time where I do a 6-song project back in Melbourne again.
Right.
That time has passed and it's the beginning, and it will always be special to me in that way. So I was like, I just want to name it after myself. And this was the project that began the brand building and the storytelling. So yeah, I thought it was cool. But yeah.
The things that you touch on in the project, very relatable feelings. Like, are you pulling from real life experiences? Are you telling other stories that you've heard? Like, what's the world that we're in when we listen to these tracks?
I feel like when I'm writing, I never really know what I'm going to say until I get on the mic, and then it just kind of comes out like bit by bit. And I feel like I am pulling from my real life experiences, but I like to just take like a funny thought or, you know, like an emotion and amplify it in my music. And I just think, oh, wouldn't that be funny if I said that? Or, you know, wouldn't that be crazy if I said that? Or wouldn't that be, you know, like I think that I feel things to a smaller degree than how I end up opening up that emotion on the song. So that's kind of the process, I feel like. But yeah, all of them I was kind of pulling from my experiences. Yeah.
Felt like it.
Yeah.
And there was
feels conversational.
Yeah.
Feels like a journal. That's also why I think it's important for it to be self-titled. It feels like you're reading a journal. Yeah.
That's what I look for in music. Like I want to feel something, but I also like want to learn about a person.
Yeah.
And I want to feel related to.
Yeah.
Like there's a variety of all those things, and I get that here.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Yeah. It's great shit. Now, obviously today, like we said, it's the release day. You're in New York. I saw this week you've been all over. You went to Audio Mac, all that. How does it feel to have that release week experience being in New York?
It's amazing. Yeah, the energy here is incredible. We've been on the move. I feel like the excitement is keeping my body going because it's like even if I'm tired, I'm like, no, there's so much more to do and it's so fun to do it. So it's been amazing. Yeah, I feel very, very lucky. Like I feel like so grateful to get to have this experience, to be in LA or New York or whatever it is, to connect with an entirely new country and, you know, people that I've never met in Australia before and they like the music. It's cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any like bucket list things like colors or eventually Tiny Desk, like or any like like On the Block, those type platforms on the radar? Like any bucket list things you want to accomplish?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do all of those. Yeah, colors is cool. I always thought it'd be fun to do Messiana colors one day. I feel like, yeah, as far as I can take it, like literally like the Super Bowl. Why not?
There we go.
Yeah,
Ambition.
absolutely. Everything, the Grammy stage. Why not? Yeah.
So what's like the kindest thing that someone has said to you regarding your music, like a DM or something that someone said in person? Like what's the thing that just like knocked your socks off that someone said to you?
I want to actually read it. It's a comment that I got, but I can also just remember a little bit about it. But I think it was, could I grab it? Yeah, I would love to read it. It was a comment that I got a couple days ago when I first announced, thank you so much. When I first announced that the project was out, and I was like, what? This is so nice. I love that you asked this question.
I do my best. Journalist and all that.
I love it. Yeah. Someone said, Your voice is soothing and speaks stories that should be heard generations from now. Your energy lights up dark rooms. Thank you for sharing a part of you with all of us.
Mm.
Wow. Your energy lights up dark rooms.
Mm.
I felt like that was such a beautiful comment.
That'd bring a tear to my eye.
That was said by Scorpio by Babe 24.
Shout out to Scorpio
Period.
by Babe 24.
Oh my God.
You're a poet. You made me feel away
No,
with that.
literally. I was like, what a sweet thing to say. And like, that's exactly the point. Like, that's why I want to do this. So it's
Yeah.
so cool.
No, especially in this world where people are like apprehensive about just showing love. Like,
Yeah.
it's become a negative thing where like people try to act too cool.
Yeah.
So it's cool that people are willing to be vulnerable as you're being vulnerable with them with your art. Like that's super fire.
Yeah. Thank you.
You got a great track. Like I said, I've dug through the discography. I've gone up and down your Spotify page. You linked up with Phabo.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah. So I wrote the song Go Getter with a couple other people. And we had it finished. I had my verse as the second verse. And yeah, someone that I was working with at the time, I think she just texted it to him.
Mhm.
And I don't think she said very much. I think she was like, hey, like, do you like this? What are your thoughts? He was like, nah, this is crazy. Like, I really want to be on it, which is so interesting because if I go up in him and my chat, I think I said to him a long time ago, like, I love your work. Like, I'd love to work with you. And he was like, yeah, I'd love to work with you too. Like, send me something interesting.
Mhm.
So when he said that he wanted to be on it, I was like, okay, I guess it was interesting.
There we go.
And yeah, like I think I met him out. I think we were at a restaurant or something. Like it was super loud, and he was just saying to me, like, yeah, like I'll come to the studio and I'll cut it. And I was like, we're out. Like everybody's having drinks. Like we're not gonna remember this.
Yeah.
But he stood on that, and literally the next week he was there. He cut his verse like very quickly. And it was really cool. It was really cool to watch him create because I'd loved his music for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a cool artist.
He's one of those like faves within the R&B community. Like
Definitely.
if you really love R&B, people really fuck with Phabo.
Yeah.
Like heavy. So when I saw that, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You out here. You really out here.
Yeah, his writing process is really cool. It's something I've like always loved. And so yeah, having him on a song is so cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you have plans of like performances? Like when, you got to let me know when to pop out in New York so I could come and experience Messy live. Like,
yes. So we're going to have some stuff like lined up. I feel like now that the project's out, I'm just going to be working on setting up some stuff like in LA. I'd love to come back to New York and do like performances out here. But you'll be the first to know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, please. Like, no, literally, like before, like you tell your family or close friends, like you got to let me know.
Yeah, facts.
Like I'll be there in the front, like the video camera, like me up front.
I think I'm doing like a So Far Sounds in LA too.
Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be like a little intimate vibe. It'll be fun to play the project with like a little sit down audience. Like I've heard it's like very, very like intimate and nice. So
yeah,
that'll be cute to do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of my rapper friends, Jacques Lane, he did like a little mini tour with So Far Sounds, and it looked cool. It was like very,
cool.
like you said, intimate, small. He had a live band, all that. Like, it was dope. So.
Yeah, I would love to do something like that, even just like a little release event. That would be sick. But we'll see. I'll let you know.
Yeah, appreciate it. So earlier you talked about Brandy. Like, how important has it been for you to like dig in the crates and go back to the stars of yesteryear who still matter today, and like examine different influences and just research? Like, how important is that, and how deep have you gone into it?
I think that honestly, it's been extremely important to me. I think like listening to Sade, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, Aaliyah, Brandy, I feel like that's been a really important part of creating for me. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if I listen to that much new stuff. Like I don't know if I'm super tapped in all the time, because I think that there's a lot coming out that I sometimes don't even know what to listen to. But I feel like for me, my input is my output. So I'm quite intentional about like what I tune my ear to. So I think listening to older music has been like very important, and studying and just feeling.
Yeah.
So important. Yeah.
Who would you say is like your all-time top 5 artists?
Top 5 of all time. D'Angelo.
Okay. All
Brandy.
right.
I would say Michael Jackson.
My God.
Yeah, I have really beautiful memories of listening to Michael Jackson. Look, when I was young, I can't not say it. When I was young, it was Chris Brown. I feel like that's a crazy thing to say now.
Oh, really?
But he definitely had a sound that really influenced me coming up when I was
He's still
young.
got a crazy rabid
And he's
fan
very, very
base.
talented.
Yeah.
So I think that was definitely one for me. And then my fifth one, I would say Sade.
Mm.
Yeah. It's very cool, like, to see, like, a British artist and a British band, like, you know, having the impact that they all did. And yeah, one of my favorite albums is a Sade album.
Mhm.
So yeah, I would say that's my top 5.
It's a great top 5.
Yeah.
That's I feel like I go out, ask like a 35-year-old, they'd have the same one. So you're striking me as an old soul,
Oh my God.
Shredda.
You know what? Nah, facts. I actually think I am.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think a lot of people like to say I'm an old soul.
They
I'm like,
and I
nah,
hate that, but it's
yeah.
like you can feel it when someone's like a real old soul. Like,
Yeah, no, facts. And I think it comes up, I'm very bad with technology. I'm very bad at like basic like things that I feel like someone who's like Gen Z like me should be good at.
Mhm.
So yeah, no, I definitely feel like I'm an old soul for sure.
That's actually a great transition. Like nowadays, a lot of artists feel that pressure to be content creators,
Mhm.
making reels and TikToks and
Yeah.
all that. And for you, especially with the type of music you make, like what's been that process like of kind of exposing yourself to people outside of what they hear on, the streaming platforms, like using social media as a way of advertising and marketing?
Yeah. I feel like it was something I was quite resistant to when I first got into music. I was like, what is this? I didn't sign up for this. What do I have to do? I don't know how to do this. But now I actually really enjoy it. I think I've found a way to create art, but just cut it down to 15 seconds.
Mhm.
Like literally just that. And I feel like I just view social media as a vehicle to get my music heard. So I'm like, what's more important? Like my comfortability or getting my music heard? So yeah, now I enjoy it. I have fun with it. I love that I get to approach social media in a creative way. I think if you're just trying to keep up with every single trend, it probably gets exhausting.
Yeah.
But I think when you just like tailor it to your fans and your audience, which is what I've been trying to do, I just want to give them more of what I'd like to see. Like, and I think making social media just a creative space rather than a space of trends. Also, I think suits R&B a little better too,
Mhm.
because like just the lyricism and how deep the music is, it can feel corny to just like, I don't know, do a little bop, do a little 1-2 step to I don't know, temporary thought. Like it's crazy. But I feel like I've just found ways to have fun with it. I work with creatives who are super talented and who like have a very cool way of communicating the emotions in the song. So I'm excited to press post. Like I'm like, I want people to see this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really fun.
What is your personal definition of success?
My personal definition of success. Okay, so I feel like a lot of people would want me to say happiness, which I do think, but I think happiness is its own thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't think success and happiness are even like interconnected.
I think you can be happy without being successful.
Yeah, right. I feel like success for me is not standing in my own way and taking it as far as I know I can take it.
Mhm.
So it's like any vision that comes to me, any download that I get, I act on it and I do the absolute best of my ability every time. That's when I feel like I've done something successfully. So yeah, I feel like it's not sleeping on myself and like having this ambition and having this drive and actually acting on it is we don't realize how hard that actually is to do.
Yeah.
And I think that separates good from great. So yeah, I'm giving like a Timothy Chalamet, like I want to be a greatest speech right now. But like I feel like I think it's just like I want to take it as far as I can, leave a legacy and be representation for my people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You mentioned not standing in your own way before. Do you feel like that's one of your biggest flaws, or maybe not flaws, but
No, I think it's something that like I've worked through for sure, but I also I think it's something that I perceive in life and in general. And I think like, so much of the time we have these dreams and we have this creativity and we literally have this vision and we think like, oh, I'm not the one that should be executing that. And it's like, if you were not the one to do it, you wouldn't have even received that idea or that spark of inspiration. So for me, I'm like, if anybody tells me I want to start this business, I want to do this, I want to travel, I'm like, do it. Like, I love that for you. Like, I live my life that way too, like on these impulses.
Mm.
So yeah, I would say that it's not necessarily something I've struggled with, but it's something that I'm conscious of.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I know this is project one, and talking
Yeah.
about legacy might be
We
daunting.
can talk about it.
Okay.
It's not
All right.
daunting.
Cool. Okay. When it's all said and done, what would you like your legacy to be?
To be one of the greatest.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of that at all because I want to put in the work.
Mm.
Yeah.
Running towards the grind, not away from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
love
It's
that.
fun. Yeah. I've literally seen myself like transform into like versions of myself that I never believed was possible. So I'm just like, there is literally nothing that is impossible. I think like this life, like already what I'm doing, like I feel like makes me so grateful. It just doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm already living a life that is so unlikely, what is impossible? Like nothing.
It's a bar.
Yeah.
It's a crazy thing. Like I say it all the time to random people. If I haven't seen them in a while, I'm just like, yo, I did not know life would get to where it is 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
especially when you accomplish things that you didn't initially set out to.
Yes.
Like we all have our goals where we have that North Star.
Yeah.
But then along the way, you kind of do other things. It's like, holy shit, like what? I did not expect to be here or to know this person or to do
Exactly.
that. So it's crazy. And growth, one of my favorite phrases is growth is uncomfortable, because it can be,
Yeah.
you know, when you hit a different phase, even when you like go higher up and things are, you know, like quote unquote better, it still feels like weird. And you might
Yeah.
even have imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
But then once you kind of settle in and like really look around and, you know, like feel grateful for the privileges that you have, it's like, holy shit, like what?
No, exactly. And also I think to add on to that too, I feel like when I say that I would want to be the greatest, I don't mean that I would want to be the most famous.
Mhm.
I mean, I would want to be the greatest musician that I can be. So I think when you view it like that, there is actually nothing that you know too much of. Like when you're a student of music
Mhm.
and a student of life, you constantly know nothing. So I feel like it's just like when you approach it like that, you're just like, wow, literally every blessing is something I never would have imagined
Mhm.
that I would receive. So yeah.
You seem very like external validation doesn't affect you too much. I mean, we're human, so
Yeah,
it gets
of
to
course.
everyone sometimes.
Yeah.
But like you seem very like just like grounded. Like
Yeah, thank you.
have you like done therapy or some type of like just mind awakening journey or something, like, or is it just life?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the last 2 years have been like a mind awakening journey.
Mhm.
Maybe if, you know, you'd have spoken to me like a few years ago, I don't think I'd really have the same perspective on things.
Yeah.
But I think that when life humbles you so much and you have to trust your intuition and you can't necessarily trust other people to lead you where you need to go, like you have to trust like this inner compass. And like intuition is just a muscle. Like if you strengthen it, like it just becomes strong.
Yeah.
And I feel like for me, that's just my like way of approaching everything is just what my intuition says. But yeah, I would say, look, to be fair, obviously if somebody, you know, comments a paragraph about like how I'm the worst person ever, I'd probably be like, damn. But I don't really care about what people think because I think things.
Mhm.
And no one should care what I think.
Mm.
Like I like shit, I don't like shit. I have opinions about music. I listen to songs, I'm like, phew, never gonna listen to that again. Doesn't mean you should stop. Like that's my opinion. So it's like I don't care what anyone has to say about me because it's just not gonna like change my my path. Like this is a business that's built on also taste.
Mhm.
People are allowed to not like me.
Mhm.
Like I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're allowed to not like stuff. You know,
People forget that sometimes.
yeah, right. Like it's like we have to like every single thing, and you know, like we have to be super like, I don't know, like for me it's just like I'm putting out something because it's like my calling to do it, but if it's not for you, like there's someone else that you're gonna love who
Mhm.
makes music, like go listen to them.
Yeah. Simple as that.
But yeah, I
Simple as
don't
that.
really think about it too much.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Let's get into a fun segment I've called Questions Down Under.
Oh my God. Okay, I already know where this is gonna go, but I'm excited.
So,
Mhm.
how often do people in Australia actually say crikey?
Extremely unlikely to hear crikey in your average Australian conversation.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
I don't think I've ever said crikey
Until now.
until now. Yeah, like if you said something that surprised me, I think that would probably be at the bottom of my vocabulary. He'd be like, crikey, that's crazy. Yeah, very Steve Irwin.
You'll see a lot of these are influenced by like I said, social media, TV
yes,
shows, and,
which I love.
like,
It's
Australian
so fun.
stereotypes.
It's like I'm
and all that.
debunking
Yeah,
stereotypes right now, but I love it.
That's what we're here for. You answered the kangaroos one already. You don't see them a lot or at
No.
all.
You can see them. I've seen them. So if I'm in the suburbs, like you can kind of see them like eating grass and just chilling. But no, they're not going to bother you. Yeah. Maybe like how you'd see like coyotes in LA or like what you guys have out here that you might bump into, like deer in Jersey.
Yeah, deer.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Sometimes when I'm like walking home at night from the bus, there are deer like by my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like kind of like that depending on where you live, but yeah, probably unlikely, especially if you're from Melbourne, to just see a kangaroo in the city.
Have you ever done a shoey?
Absolutely not. And I will never do that. That's the most, that's disgusting. I actually hate that. I hate that our PR sucks. I said this to someone else. Australian PR, like Australian marketing in general sucks. I hate that these are the pillars of the brand. Like kangaroos, shoeys, like no, hell no. Never doing that. Yeah. So nasty.
I played club rugby for a semester in college. And so they would like sing these songs, do these chants, and like if you like messed up one of them, you'd have to do a shoey. I've never done a shoey, but I've watched shoeys be done. And yeah, it doesn't look appealing.
No, it's actually so gross. I can't believe that.
Don't think I want to drink beer out of where someone's foot has been, especially my own foot. Like,
yeah,
I try to keep my feet clean. I do mani-pedis,
monthly,
as you but should. Still not really drinking out of a shoe. Not really my vibe.
Right. So exactly. So for anyone that doesn't know, a shoey is a shot out of a chute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they be pouring whole beers in there.
Yes,
ain't no shot. That's
that's a drink.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Do you know who Rhea Ripley is?
No.
Okay, so she is an Australian wrestler.
Okay, cool.
Super buff, super tatted. One of the like biggest stars in WWE right now.
Okay, that's cool.
People love her. She's a baddie. Like,
I think I might have seen her on TikTok or something.
You probably have. She's big on TikTok. Like, people love her. She's taken over. So I just had to know. She's from Adelaide.
Adelaide, right?
How far is that from?
That's
Melbourne?
Pretty far. Yeah, it's kind of on the other side. Yeah.
I'm familiar with Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide. There's one other place I'm forgetting.
Queensland?
No.
Gold Coast?
I've heard of Gold Coast, yeah. Fuck, that was another one. I was thinking about them on the way here. I was like, yo, I'm about to impress her, knowing all these different cities. But I fucked up.
Tasmania?
Yes. I mean, Tasmania's popping. Like, that's one of them, but yeah. Who do you all consider like the most famous Australians or like Australians that y'all are most proud of?
I think most famous would be like Margot Robbie or like the Hemsworth brothers. I feel like, a lot of Australian actors. I would say Kylie Minogue.
Okay.
In like the music dance space, like very much like dance pop space.
I think I like just got familiar with
Kylie.
Yeah.
Are these people that I feel like super proud of? I don't know, but they're just like people I've grown up knowing are just famous.
Right.
Tame Impala, that's cool.
I didn't know Tame Impala was.
Yeah. 5 Seconds of Summer.
Holy shit.
Yeah, quite a few
that's a
famous Australians.
You got a good roster out there.
Yeah. But I think Australians are really proud of their athletes and their actors. Yeah, in the R&B space, I don't think there's lots of artists in Australia doing the thing, but I don't necessarily think they're being championed by the whole country like, they should be So
that's gonna be you. You're gonna be the R&B gem of Australia. There we go. There we go. What's the deal with Vegemite?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So Vegemite is a spread which is made out of random shit that came about during the war because I think it was like people were preserving stuff. So they basically made out a jam out of like random shit, but it's actually so fire. Like I like Vegemite. Like if I have toast, Mel's shaking her, she's like, fuck that. But if I have like toast and like butter and Vegemite, and that's also the thing. It's about quantity. Like a lot of Americans will just get a spoonful of Vegemite, eat it. Like no, it's not supposed to be consumed that way. It's very little amount of Vegemite and it's really good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, you'll like it. Have you tried it?
I've not. And I
Okay.
need to.
Yeah, try some
Literally,
Vegemite.
as I was on the way here, I told one of my friends, like, yo, I'm about to interview this super dope Australian artist. She was like, ask about Vegemite. I was like, I
Yeah,
bet. So
Vegemite's amazing.
here we
And
are.
it's good. I
All
like
right, I'll
it.
have to try it.
Mm-hmm.
Where I mean, should I get it? Like, should I go to Australia and get it there, or can I
think
trust?
you can get it. I think you can ship it to
Okay.
yourself if
All
you if you want to ship Vegemite to you.
I'll do that. Like,
Yeah, I'll look it up.
send
I'll send it to you.
What's one of those things called a mukbang?
Oh
I'll
yeah,
send you a
trying
mukbang.
Vegemite. Yeah, facts. Nah.
Eating Vegemite.
Yeah,
I got
you're
you.
not. If you eat Vegemite, you'll grow like an extra chest hair. I feel like it just like builds you. It like builds character to like eat Vegemite.
Okay, that's what we need. Character building.
Yeah, facts.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So if someone was traveling to Australia for the first time, are you like being like prideful about Melbourne and saying go there, or like where would you tell someone to go?
I am very prideful about Melbourne, and having grown up there, I feel like I'm a good tour guide.
Mhm.
First thing you got to try is a Melbourne coffee.
Okay.
We are coffee snobs. Our coffee is incredible, unmatched. Then you need to get brunch, and then
That's my vibe.
yeah, walk the city, go thrifting, hang out, and then be ready for a night out. That's
Okay.
what I'd say you can do in Melbourne.
What's the time difference from here? And I watched a wrestling show out there. It was I want to say February 2024,
Yeah,
and the show started at like 5 a.m.
yeah.
So like 5 a.m. here is what time over there?
I don't know the time difference from New York, but
Mhm.
from LA, it's 15 hours, but Australia's a day ahead. So it's a
Mm,
5-hour difference in the day, but it's 15 hours in general.
okay.
But I'm still adjusting to the time zone here. I'm like, yeah, it's different. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's even bigger of a time difference.
Okay. Word. Well,
Mhm.
that was questions down under. If y'all got any more, drop them in the comments on IG, and I'm volunteering SHRETA to answer
Oh no,
all Australian
Australian
questions.
rep.
Be polite, be respectful, of course. We're not crikeying and all of that nonsense. The nonsense that y'all try to perpetuate. But
Yes.
let's learn more about Australia.
Yeah.
If I were to say Aussie, what would your response be?
Oi, oi, oi.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll
I
do
needed
it for
that.
the one
I
time.
needed that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, great to get to know you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
First podcast. You was smooth. You was
It really,
locked
it was
in.
good.
You was locked in.
Okay,
It was
cool.
calm shit.
Yeah.
You should do this more often.
Thank
I'd like
you.
to see it.
Yeah.
Hopefully the episodes aren't better than mine. Selfishly, hopefully I have the best SHRETA interview out there. But as long as more people get to know you, and I mean, shit, you got like 57K monthly listeners, so people, the streets know about you already.
Yeah.
But I'm
Thank
wishing you
you.
more growth and
I
more
appreciate
success
it.
for sure.
Yeah.
Tell the people where to follow you.
Follow me on everything. It's just my first name, SHRETA, SHRETA, on everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
nice and easy. And go listen to music on Apple Music and Spotify on
Mhm.
your favorite playlist.
Yeah, she was featured on the new releases on the Apple Music
Yeah.
page. A couple playlist placements. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Shout out to the marketing. But yes,
Yeah.
that is our episode, ladies and gentlemen. Hope that you all enjoyed. Make sure you follow the pod page
Yeah.
at Stay Busy Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Follow me at Armon Sadler on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And most importantly, make sure that you stay safe, stay healthy, and stay busy.